What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today, in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a fantastic little title that I cannot recommend highly enough called Insect Swarm. The game released a long time ago in early access, but exclusively in Chinese, from what I recall. I had the game wishlisted back then because I'm hugely interested in anything that lets me get my Buenos Aires on and annihilate a whole bunch of bugs. You know, to me, the only good bug is a dead bug. But eventually the English version came around, and I believe that we covered it the last time when it was in its first iteration. Well, the game is now in 0.7 or 0.8. It just got Steam Deck approved, and they've been adding new content and new things to the game and kind of developing out the premise of the game and all of the things that you can do. Spoiler alert, at the end of the day, this is kind of like a game that you can't really explain why you just played it for the last 8 hours. It's one of those games. So at its fundamental level, this is a game where you are a member of some kind of like space colonial government. You're a VTOL pilot. You've been sent down to a bug-infested alien planet to harvest as much Cheeto dust as possible and bring it back to the mothership because, like, I don't know, Cheetos are awesome. The game does not have a storyline, so that's the storyline that I've made up, is that we're just doing this all for the Frito-Lay Company. That's it. This is the future of the Frito-Lay Company, mulching your way through blood-bag mountains of bugs in order to get the Cheeto dust that's required to supply the galaxy to keep our Imperium flowing. But along the way with your VTOL, you'll get loads of weapons, the map will get harder, and it's really just a number go up game. That's all that it is. It's a number go up game. There's not a whole lot of complication here. There's not a whole lot of interactivity from the player. You basically just make your VTOL stronger. You get increasingly more ridiculous weapons that follow the rule of cool and obliterate 1 billion bugs per second instead of obliterating 500 million bugs a second. And you just keep going over and over and over again. Every now and again, the game will give you a boss or something to go kill. There is a progress track that you're expected to be paying attention to with something called the Doomsday Protocol, which actually I've played the game a whole bunch. Like, seriously, I played the game a lot to get to the Doomsday Protocol. So we're going to light off the Doomsday Protocol during this video in just a second and see what it does, because this is the furthest that I've ever been into the game. I've killed all the insect lords, and now the Doomsday plan is apparently in effect. But unfortunately, in order to do that, I'm going to need to upgrade my VTOL. But let's do the nitty-gritty stuff first. If after watching this, you wanted to get the game for yourself, Insect Swarm is currently available for your purchase and perusal in early access to absolutely decimate your time while you listen to a podcast or something. You'll find a link to it down below in the description, just in case you wanted to interact with that at all. There's also a link down there to my Discord and my Twitch stream, just in case you wanted to hang out live. I make a lot of live content every single week. Like, I love doing crowd work, and I like talking to you guys, like, directly and, like, bouncing off of you guys. I always fancied myself. I studied comedy writing and stand-up comedy a lot when I was younger. But I was always too much of a weenie to get up on stage on, like, an open mic night and just, like, let it go. And I find that, you know, the stream lets me do that in an environment where I can have a good time. And I really, really enjoy streaming. So check that out, too. It's down there. I stream probably 4 or 5 days a week, usually for about 5 or 6 hours at a time. Typically games that were on the channel or are relevant to the channel so that people can further expand their knowledge as to whether or not they wanted to buy a game or not, just in case I felt like 30 minutes wasn't enough when we covered it here on the channel. But yeah, what am I doing? What is the core gameplay loop of this game? Kill bugs, get orange stuff, fill up cargo hold, upgrade many thing, go out, do it again. That's the entire game. That's it. That's the whole gameplay loop. Occasionally, turn into giant robot, smash many bug with giant robot, then go back into VTOL form, continue to shoot bug and annihilate bug and make bug into big blood pile. At the moment, the goal that I'm working towards is lighting off the Doomsday Protocol, which I think is the beginning of the end game. I would say that this playthrough is probably like 6 hours in or so, is about how long it took me to farm enough to have the DPS to wipe out all of the insect lords. And honestly, it's kind of like an endless game. You play at your own pace. This game is like the bug-splatting version of Cookie Clicker almost, except you don't even need to click. Like, it pretty much like I navigate with my craft, and then other than that, the guns are heat-seeking, and like everything I have on my craft basically farms bugs all by its lonesome without my interaction. And so, like I said, very difficult game to pin down exactly why it's so satisfying, but I think it comes down to effectively the way that the hordes behave, the way that the hordes explode into big piles of goo, and I think also the way that the upgrades feel as you stack them on up, and the ways that you get more powerful, and then the world gets more powerful to counterbalance the fact that you're getting more powerful. And it's like this push and pull that like obsessively will have you up until like 2 or 3 in the morning just zapping bugs with lightning. Along the way, your colonial government is going to give you access to a lot of different guns. We'll take a look at a couple of the different gun sets as we play through the video here today. I currently have my favorite guns already equipped. So I have a number of drones that are Tesla drones that orbit around me. Those are on my right click. You can see their ammo down at the bottom of the screen. I've got 50 out of 69 nice right now in order to fire them off. My other weapon is a smart gun where the bullets penetrate through enemies and then loop back to do it again, causing massive damage to hordes and also a lot of good single target damage to some of the bigger bugs as well. Our cargo hold is completely and totally full. So let's go ahead and head on back to base real fast, and I'll show you what we can spend some of these goodies on. These are all the various attributes of your VTOL that can be increased over the course of your gameplay. You can upgrade your armor. You can upgrade your movement speed. You can upgrade the way that your energy shield absorbs damage. You can make it so that your maximum energy goes up. You can regenerate energy faster. There's weapon damage, weapon firing speed, weapon ammo. Basically, all the things that you would expect to be here are here. But on top of that, in kind of an odd twist, this game allows you to use your crystals to get more crystals by making the world more difficult as well, just in case you find that the game is too easy. You can also upgrade your mecha. I haven't really upgraded my mecha that much because the mecha upgrades are very expensive and it takes you a long time to get to this portion of the game. You do have mecha color skins that you can put on your robot. I went with green because I feel like green is factually the best color to ever exist. I don't know why. I'm a grown-ass man, but I still have a preference about my favorite color, and it is like a dark, deep hunter green. Let's get a flamethrower. Why not? Oh, I was going to light off the Doomsday Protocol, wasn't I? Well, consider for a moment that even though I was considering lighting off the Doomsday Protocol, that we were going to head into said Doomsday Protocol while lacking a flamethrower. And that, to me, feels like one of those things that we would definitely be reprimanded by the Quartermaster for. See, the Quartermaster has been here on planet for a long time, and the Quartermaster is a firm believer that any craft that goes out without the properly equipped flamethrower is probably a craft that's not going to come back home. And the Quartermaster, and especially the Hangar Master, they both really, really like it when the craft comes home. Like, when you bring back an exploded, destroyed, shredded husk that's like covered in bug claws and bite marks that looks like a bulldog's old chew toy, they don't like that. They get very, very upset about that exchange in goods. And so anyway, I like to bring mine back in one piece by having the recommended government flamethrower on board prior to leaving for the Doomsday Protocol. In the early game, you're just going to have like a little weenie-ass machine gun. It's going to kill bugs very, very slowly. You'll have a weenie machine gun, and then you'll probably also have like a missile launcher at the beginning of the game. The missiles in this game are pretty cool, and I like using them. That's a Guardian right there. It's one of the mini-bosses of the game, I think. I can't remember if that's one of the main bosses or if that's like a mini-boss. I killed him a long time ago. I don't remember if he actually gets tagged by the Bug Lord radar. Well, I don't know. We have a radar that tracks the Bug Lords, all right? So that we know where they are at all times. Bugs are really, really bad at operational security. They're like super terrible at... Oh, okay. So an elite came from off screen and splashed me while I was dealing with the big dog. It makes me feel a little bit bad about myself. Unfortunately, I lost a lot of my crystals right there. But honestly, death doesn't really matter in this game. Like, you don't really get penalized that hard. I think I lost like half my crystals, which, if you've really got the system tuned up, you can probably farm like a full cargo hold of crystals in like minutes. And so it's really not that big of a deal. The game is meant to be one of those things, and I can tell it's meant to be one of those things that first and foremost is a rule of cool spectacle. You can never go wrong with a rule of cool spectacle. If you don't know what the rule of cool is, I'm a big advocate for the rule of cool. My entire career is predicated on developers who find the rule of cool to be an appealing process. The rule of cool is basically saying screw it to balance. and just putting whatever you want in the game that makes it more of a visual spectacle and makes the player have a ridiculous power trip, power fantasy, all right? This game is like the king of that idea. This game didn't invent that idea, but it definitely made that idea really accessible and really satisfying to play. And so, I like the rule of cool. The rule of cool is on full display inside of this title. Want to be a big giant robot? Go be a big giant robot. You want to kill 1,000 bugs at once? Go do that. You want to get $1 million in currency in like seconds? Go do that. It's a game where there's a lot of things ticking and whirring and iterating upwards. And there's lots of things exploding. And there's crimson flying all over the screen. And for some reason, it'll just keep you playing until like 3 or 4 in the morning. But ultimately, this is like that perfect holotype game, in my opinion, where you can put on like a podcast and like put the game down quiet, and you can just sit there on like a winter evening while it's raining outside with just like a cup of cocoa or like coffee in front of you and just kind of mulch bugs while you listen to, I don't know, like a history podcast or something. This game right here is like perfect for that. This game is effectively the video game equivalent of those soap shaving videos that you see on TikTok where they cut up soap in geometric shapes and then it like falls apart into little cubes or like diamonds, like that guy from the first Resident Evil movie with Mila Jovovich or whatever her name was. She's not really around anymore, but you know that movie, how that guy goes into the laser gate and he gets chopped into like 1 million different meat cubes? It's like those videos on TikTok, but with soap and not human beings, and you just keep playing it for some reason and you can't stop yourself. Here's all the weapons we have available. I'll start from the beginning and show you some of the goodies around here. The weapons are in need of a balance, in my opinion. We'll run through as many as we can today, but there were definitely, while I was preparing for this video, there were some weapons that I did not like compared to other weapons, and not due to their firing pattern or anything else. They just felt flatly and objectively weaker than other guns, so I ended up not using them. We do need to increase our damage pretty badly, but we also need to light off the Doomsday Protocol. Oh, the soundtrack changed. That can't be good. Oh, what is that thing, dude? Okay, all right, fair enough. Shoot missiles at it. Oh my god, what in the hell is that thing? And oh, it's inside my base. I'm afeared. Okay, I am very afraid. Fire all the missiles in the world. Kill everything that can be killed or otherwise shot until it falls over dead, and then I no longer have to be a... He's just in my base, huh? Okay, yeah, that's gonna be an issue, I think. Oh, damn, dude, he spawns a lot of bugs. I'm almost out of missiles, too, and my guns don't even, like, affect this guy. We may have made a poor decision. This might have been a bad idea. The giant wang worm might be far more of a threat than initially surmised. We may need to come up with a wang worm contingency. That's all that I'm saying. Luckily, the bug is being shot by the interior turrets. Unfortunately, my armor is severely damaged, so I think we're probably going to die here. That's going to be a good explanation as to what the Doomsday Protocol is. The Doomsday Protocol is a giant dick worm that just rolls into the center of your base and obliterates your entire life and then gets on, you know, your brokerage account at Vanguard, sells all your stocks for a subpar price, and then catcalls your wife. That's what that is right there. So, like, listen, this guy is not going away. I think he's just gonna be inside the base forever, and we're just gonna have to deal with that. So going back home to upgrade things is going to be a little bit risky from now on. A little bit of a tough crowd waiting for us back on the home front. We are in the doghouse a little bit with the bugs out here. And so, you know, we may want to smooth that over a little bit. It may be time to build an embassy. I don't know if VTOL diplomacy is working anymore. I recently, if you're wondering why these guys are taking so long to kill, I recently upgraded the difficulty of the map as well, using my crystals, because I wanted to get even more crystals while I was crystalling my crystals. I don't like this machine gun. I gotta, like, swap it out. Let's go do something else. Missiles and machine guns are, like, kind of fun, but, like, I have, like, other things. So let's go inside of here. Oh, good, the bugs are in the hangar with me, too. Funsies. I would suggest we spend our crystals for sure on more damage. Absolutely. I would say let's go for the machine cannon possibly and the black hole gun You'll probably like the black hole gun. The black hole gun is just a barrel of good fun. So right now, we have an autocannon. The autocannon is kind of like the machine gun. The difference is it fires a little bit slower, but it does a bunch of splash damage. This is one of the weapons that, in my opinion, needs like a big boost up. This and the shotgun both need to kind of be buffed compared to like all of the lightning weapons and all of the drone weapons. They tend to be a lot better. That right there is my black hole generator. The black hole generator is pretty awesome. It effectively shoves a whole bunch of bugs towards the event horizon of an artificially manufactured like CERN black hole. And then I just get to, weirdly enough, the physics of the situation do not require that the crystals get sucked into a black hole, which to me is actually kind of like an incredible transpiring of events. You would think the crystals would also get sucked into the absolute singularity of nothingness, but no, in fact, we still get to harvest the crystals, which is really, really rad. I'm going to knock that guy out right there. Let's continue grabbing some bugs. The black hole generator, pretty fun gun, in all honesty. Pretty fun gun. Highly recommended. I recommend it. It's got like a nice little spread to it when you... Oh, that's not good. I don't really want to do this right now. I activated an obelisk on accident. This is more than likely going to have consequences for me and my long-term survivability. So I say giant death robot mode? Yeah, giant death robot mode. Why not? Every time is a good time for giant death robot mode. I mean, winter, death robot mode. Summer, death robot mode. Easter, death robot mode. Your dad's birthday, death robot mode. Mother's Day, also a great opportunity for a giant death robot. Is there anything a giant death robot can't solve? I don't know. But it seems to be solving things pretty effectively right now. Here, taste my flamethrower, you little bastard. We haven't actually... I forgot that we got a flamethrower, and I haven't tested it out yet. We should definitely test out the flamethrower. Now, recently, they said there was, like, a fuel system they added to the giant death robot. I don't see the giant fuel system, so I'm not exactly sure how the giant fuel... Like, it doesn't seem like it kicks me out of robot mode very often. So, like, they said they added a fuel meter or something to the giant death robot. But as of right now, since I returned to the game, I haven't really seen, like, a hard limiter on, like, when I need to get out of my giant death robot. Command seems totally fine with me just, like, living in here in perpetuity. Like, they're all right with my, you know, base housing solution just being a giant death robot. We'll try out the Tesla drones over here. Be kind of fun. War drones are pretty enjoyable, so you guys can try that out. You can see my war drones. They're killing stuff outside the building right now. But we are going to want to, like, increase our damage a little bit, I think. Secondary weapon damage feels like a really strong play. So there you go. We just got 1/6 more damage. So, like, 16 or 17 more % on my death drones. Turn on the bug zapper, man. Let's do this thing. And, like, this, I think, is really the crux of why this game is addictive. You can't really explain it, but number go up in combination with giant bug horde, in combination with giant blood pile, in combination with Cheeto dust everywhere, in combination with constant meters ticking upwards. This game is basically an active war crime against this game is an active war crime on behalf of dopamine release, all right? And if you, like, I think there are some people that are going to be really immune to it. They're going to play the game and they're going to be like, this is dumb. This has no depth. I don't understand why people are enjoying this. But if you've got a brain like mine that's perpetually addled by attention deficit disorder, that is constantly just like craving the nonstop release of dopamine, for some reason, man, this game really, really works. Like I said, it's basically a soap shaving video that you can play and things explode and die and scream and screech. And it's just one of those things that you just keep adding to the pile of things to do. Now, what do I think is a priority for this very, very simple title going forward? Gun balance. You're going to want more gun balance. Definitely more gun balance. Ideally, every gun in the game should feel as good to use as the black hole, or as good as the smart gun, or as good as the Tesla drones. And as of right now, my observation has been that about half of the weapons are super fun and get me hyped, and then the other half are just inefficient and I don't use them at all. You're going to want to change that. Do a balance pass for your guns. Listen to the community and ask them, how could I make the cannon a better choice? How could I make the machine gun a better choice? So on and so forth. And I think if you get all the guns up to parity, you're going to be a really good spot. Aside from that, I do think that the game could use a tiny bit more depth, other than just being like a number churn and burn, number go up game. I think you could maintain that premise while still adding like mods that randomly drop off enemies that you can put on your guns that make them do different things, or add different effects to them, like 1 or 2 mod slots just on your VTOL that basically changed the way that your weapons perform. So like a splitter, for example. Once the splitter drops, there's different qualities of splitter, and like the first lowest quality of splitter makes it so that your bullets split once as they leave your vehicle. And then like the next quality of splitter makes your bullets split twice as they go out of your vehicle. Or another mod called the Exploder that makes an enemy explode in an increasingly with rarity sized explosion that leaves a fire spot on the ground that burns things up. Or even better, a nanite reclamator, you know what I mean? Where everything you kill with your primary weapon fills up a meter, and whenever the meter fills up, you get airdropped a turret that helps you fight enemies or something like that. Just little things to keep adding to the rule of cool, I think would be a really good idea. You know, oh! Okay, I was going to say, you know nothing good is going to come out of that giant egg over there. Like, there is factually no chance that anything good comes out of that giant egg. We appear to be fighting some kind of, like, blowfish or something that exists out here in the hinterland. But let's focus on killing the elites and stuff first. I think that's a much smarter place to start. Let's go ahead and wipe them on out and just kind of try it on for size and see how we feel. Now that we're focused on the elite, he is actually going down. The bane of my existence is just, like, splitting the amount of my damage in between random things so that I'm not killing the stuff that I want to kill. These drones function a little bit differently. You get an extra drone for like every 6, I think, of ammo that you have, and I think it maxes out. I don't remember where it maxes out at. I think it maxes out at like 100 ammo or something like 10 drones. I haven't maxed it out yet, so I don't know. The Doomsday Protocol turned out to be a bigger challenge than I expected. It's going to be a problem dealing with the Doomsday Protocol. I'll probably go back and swap over to my smart gun after this. But yeah, the shotgun and the cannon, they both need to be looked at. I don't think the game would hurt for a little bit more weapon variety either. There's a decent amount once you take into account all the stuff that you can equip on your mech. I think there's like 20 weapons altogether. But a few more primaries and a few more secondaries wouldn't hurt either. I think it would work out. Add a few more events to the game as well that can happen at the question mark spots that you're seeing flagged. Because right now I think there's only like 4 or 5 of them. I mean, ultimately, I think the events are not the point of the game. The point of the game is the ever-increasing dopamine release you get from doing the glorious mankind's work of eliminating bugs. But still, more variety never hurt anybody. We should probably still keep our damage going up pretty aggressively. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Our damage definitely feels out of spec for right now. With the rest of the things that we are doing inside the game world. Oh boy, okay, let's launch some missile packs then. I gotta get myself out of my base here. There we go. If you like LRM swarms, this game has LRM swarms. You can see me using them right now. They're a little temperamental. They don't always hit the thing that you want them to hit, but they are fun to hold down the button until they go click with. Looks like our primary damage is starting to get back to where I want it to go. It seems like we're starting to one-tap and splash the little bugs a little bit. I raised the difficulty level of the map by 5 all at once, which, in retrospect, before recording a video, may not have been the best way for me to do my business. I probably should have displayed how awesome and OP I could be by playing on kind of like the baby map first. Well, you know, sometimes I get excited about recording videos for all of you. I get a little bit ahead of myself. I get a little bit overstimulated, I guess. I get a little bit overexcited. I start drooling a little bit. My foot starts tapping. My tail starts wagging. and then we're off to the races. And that's just how the content mill continues to churn out day-by-day videos. But this is Insect Swarm. Every time I cover this game, this is the second time, I think to myself, how am I going to fill 25 minutes of this game? Because this is very much a game that you play by yourself, and then 4 hours disappears. You can't explain it to anybody, but you were supposed to have done that chore, and now you're in trouble. But your bug-killing VTOL is way more bug-killy than it was previously. So that's a little victory in an that's an overwhelming victory in an otherwise depressing life. So, you know, you do what you have to do to make it to Friday, all right? I highly recommend this game. I think it's awesome. I don't think it'll work for everybody, but I think that if you are utterly just destroyed by attention deficit disorder, it's a game that's going to work for you like it worked for me. And welcome, my friend. Welcome, brother. Enjoy. I will see you all later. Thank you for hanging out with me. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we were fooling around with Insect Swarm. For some reason, I don't know, destroying a bunch of circumcised frogs right now. I'll see y'all tomorrow with something hot and fresh off the indie skillet, but up until then, it's time for me to go. Bye, folks.